What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Entertainment Channel, guys. Thanks for coming through. This is Chicago sports' biggest fan, even though none of our teams really deserve it. I'm talking Cubs, Bulls, Bears, MLB, NBA, NFL. And today I'm talking about maybe the one team that probably does deserve my fandom this year, and that's the Chicago Cubs, guys. So if you're here, thanks for coming through. Before I get started, make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment, hit subscribe. We're trying to grow the Ant Farm, guys. And I'm dropping this video today on Wednesday. Like I said, no videos last week. I was in Denver for a work conference, so I'm back this week, back with some baseball content, and things are heating up, man. Cubbies getting closer to the trade deadline. You know we're involved in all types of rumors, so definitely going to be talking some Cubs trade ideas. Going to be doing a little update on where the Cubs stand and what they've been doing this last week. Then we got to talk about this MLB.com MVP poll. According to the poll, we got two players on the Cubs. You could probably guess who they are that are currently in the top 5 for National League MVP. So one thing to remember for the MLB is that the MVP is given to one person in the AL, which is the American League, and another player in the National League in the NL. A little bit different than other sports like basketball, for instance. There's only one MVP for the regular season across both conferences, where the NBA or where the MLB does it one for each conference that we're in. So let's get right into it, guys. Chicago Cubs, they opened a series last night against the Cleveland Guardians, a rematch of the 2016 World Series. And the Cubbies got the W. They got a 5-2 win. They're now 5-5 in their last 10 games. That brings them to 50-35 on the season. So we're 15 games over 500. The thing is that we're only 2 games up now on the Milwaukee Brewers in the NL Central. Shota, he's making a second start tonight since coming off of the disabled list. He pitched 5 innings, gave up 0 runs on 1 hit, 1 walk with 3 strikeouts last week against the division rivals, St. Louis Cardinals. So Cubbies, man, they got a really good win yesterday. I was checking out the game. For once, we were on regular TV. Game was on TBS yesterday. So a little bit easier to watch, even though I obviously already got locked in, got that marquee channel. But caught the Cubbies yesterday, man, and they're looking just as exciting as they have the majority of the season. Different teams completely from that World Series. Obviously, everybody's talking about Cubs got that first World Series win in 100 years against the Guardians. Only one player, who's Jose Ramirez, is still on either of the team from both teams that won. But that was already 9 years ago, which is crazy to even say that out loud. But Cubbies, man, they're 2 games up. Yesterday's win, 5-2. They were coming off a series loss against the Astros where they dropped 2 of 3. And then they tied the series before that against the Cardinals, lost one against Seattle before that. So Cubs playing relatively just kind of mediocre ball right now. And you kind of expect that a little bit into this point of the season. And maybe we're playing a little bit better than we should have without Justin Steele, without Shota Imanaga. But yesterday, man, they went up right away, 3-0 on the second. Cleveland came back in the 4th, got it to 3-2. Cubbies got another one in the 6th, another one in the 8th, ended up finishing the game off 5-2. And in terms of scoring, just a little bit of everything, man. Bush singled, PCA scored, Kelly doubled, Bush and Swanson scored, Suzuki homered, Kelly sacrifice fly. So the offense not completely humming and doing everything they've been up to all season, but 5 runs is enough. Especially yesterday we had Matt Boyd with another just stellar performance. He came over from the Guardians, and dude was absolutely dealing yesterday. In terms of the regular season so far this year, let's take a look at what his stats are. 8-3 on the season. Let me pull this up. So Matt Boyd, man, he's been a stud for us. 8-3 on the season, 2.65 ERA, 1.08 WHIP, 87 strikeouts. And we brought him over from the Cleveland Guardians, so you know it must have felt good for him yesterday to go get that lick back against his former team. And in terms of yesterday, man, 7 innings pitched, which in today's day and age for the MLB, that feels like a complete game. You rarely see anybody even go that deep. So Matt Boyd, 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, pitch count 88, strike 60. We're just reading random stats here. All I know is I'm pumped up for the game. Say I had one that barely got over, man. If you go to Wrigley, catch the games at Wrigley, say I had that perfect home run where it just barely floated over, but we'll take it. Palencia gets another save. That brings him up to 9 saves on the season, and he's getting filthy, man. I know we're talking about bringing in a bullpen pitcher, whether it's a closer, another reliever towards the end of the bullpen, but Palencia has been on a tear. Dude's been a stud. I really like him. Does have a lot of electricity, which you need in that closing role with the fastball, with the slider. And he closed it out with a filthy slider, just going right into the ankles of that Cleveland. I was about to say Cleveland Indians, my bad. Cleveland Guardians, the CGs. He hit it right down into the corner, man. And Cubbies, I'm just happy we got that W. We're going up tonight. Another game against the Cleveland Guardians on ESPN today. So if you're got a couple hours, right now it's like 5:30 Central Standard Time. We still got another hour and a half before the game. But you take a look here. It's going to be Tanner Bibby versus Shota Imanaga. And we should technically have this one, but I saw some crazy stats on Twitter where the Guardians hit I keep almost saying Indians. My bad, guys. My bad. I apologize. We'll take a moment of silence for the Indians. We back with the Guardians. So if I can remember, Guardians, they've hit pretty well against Imanaga. Cubbies, not so well against Bibby. Matchup predictor does give us a 73% chance. We're raking. We're doing it all. So we'll see what happens. It's the projected lineup for tonight. Happ, Tucker, Suzuki, PCA, Swanson, Bush, Kelly, Horner, and Shaw. And then as far as injuries, still relatively the same for us. That's all you got to worry about. But Cubbies playing just kind of 500, 5-5 the last 10 games. Only a couple games lead over the Milwaukee Brewers, which not too scared. Obviously, that's why you build up a big lead. Gives you opportunities for this type of leeway, this type of give when you're coming through the standings. The biggest thing is just keeping that consistency. Milwaukee, they're playing a lot better. They're 8-2 in their last 10. We're 5-5, so that's where they've kind of picked up a few of those games. But really great start to the season for us. And ideally, I mean, you take a look at everything, everybody in Chicago would say, hey, if we're at this point, we're 85 games into the season. Cubs are 50-35. They have a lead in the NL Central. 100%, every Chicago fan, every sports fan, every person in the front office in Chicago, they're all 1,000% taking that deal. But with that being said, this team has proved to be a lot more legit than I think a lot of people first imagined they could be. And according to Sports Illustrated, former MLB executives, they do expect the Cubs to win at the trade deadline. They do expect the Cubs to win the trade deadline. In sports, as we talk about what's winning, what's not. They say the Cubs are all in, guys. So as a fan, that's got me pumped. We're all in, whether it's for pitching. We definitely need some backup hitting. I would say the bench right now a little susceptible. We don't have any proven like pinch hitters, guys that come off the bench and can rake. Justin Turner has been a little bit to start the season. Then we definitely need a starting pitcher. We need somebody in there. Justin Steele's out for the year. Imanaga just getting back from this hamstring injury. Second start today, looking really good. But regardless of that, we need somebody else, man. We sent down Ben Brown. Jamison Tyon's been pretty good. Matthew Boyd, been a stud this year. Cade Horton, only a rookie. So we need a little bit more to to bring in for the starting pitchers. We need some relievers. So right now, let's talk about 5 trade ideas. And these are some trade ideas I found on Sports Illustrated, not my own. Some of them, obviously, those names that are constantly coming up over and over. And that gives you an idea of where this list is at. So these are going to be 5 trade ideas that the Cubs should be looking into. So 3 of these are going to be starters. 1's a position player. The 5th guy, a reliever. So let's get right into it. The first guy right now that the Cubs have been looking at, pitcher Mitch Keller from the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's 29 years old, 3-10 on the season. But wins and losses obviously don't always tell a story. Pittsburgh, one of the worst hitting teams in all of the Major League Baseball. I think they've won 5 games in a row, which is crazy. Paul Skeens had a 1-0 win yesterday. So Pittsburgh, not really known for supporting their pitchers, because Mitch Keller does have a 3.6 ERA in 18 games this year, and he's averaging about 5 2/3 innings pitched per game. So Mitch Keller, 29 years old, within the division, but we've seen that happen before. Cubbies did bring Jake Arrieta over, and I'm not going to say that's going to happen again, but it's definitely a possibility. This name's been everywhere. This name, if you're a Cubs fan, I've been hearing this name since the summer, every day, every month that goes by. Sandy Alcantara from the Miami Marlins, 29 years old. Not having his best season, probably statistically his worst season in the MLB. He's 4-8, 6.98 ERA. But he also plays for the Miami Marlins, one of the worst teams in baseball year after year. And it's got to get pretty exhausting having to be out there pitching for a team that, quite frankly, is not going to win a lot of games. Another starting pitcher, Merrill Kelly, Diamondbacks, 36 years old. He's 7-4 on the year, 3.49 ERA, and he also has postseason success and postseason history. He helped get the Diamondbacks to the World Series back in 2023. Then in terms of hitting, if we could get a third baseman, I know Matt Shaw's a stud. He's young. He's still trying to get it together at the plate. But Eugenio Suarez from the Diamondbacks, he's 33 years old, free agent at the end of this year, kind of a perfect rental player for us. He has 26 home runs, 69 RBIs with a 254 average and an OPS of 888 so far in the 2025 season. Then a reliever all the way down south in Tampa, Pete Fairbanks, 31 years old. Looks like a really, really good option to throw at the end of our bullpen. He's got a 2.45 ERA, 33 innings pitched this year with 15 saves and 34 game appearances. So these are 5 trade ideas. These are 3 trade ideas as far as starting pitchers that the Chicago Cubs should be going after. Number 1, Mitch Keller from the Pittsburgh Pirates. 29 years old, still has some control on his contract. He has a 3.64 ERA. His win total only 3 with 10 losses, but like I said, the win total doesn't really tell the whole story when you're talking Pittsburgh. Sandy Alcantara, Merrill Kelly. So let's go over. Let me regroup here. These are three pitchers that the Chicago Cubs can trade for. Number 1, Mitch Keller from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Probably been hearing about him. Some other Pirates players, pitchers might be coming to Chicago. Mitch, he's 3-10 on the season, but he has a 3.64 ERA, and we've seen it before. A guy comes from Pittsburgh, comes to Chicago, steps right into that rotation and knows what he's doing. Number 2, Sandy Alcantara. You've been hearing this name everywhere if you're a Cubs fan. He's only 29 years old, but he's having his worst season so far in the MLB. 6.98 ERA, 4-8 on the season. But once again, he's playing for Miami, one of the worst run organizations in all of the MLB. Year after year, they're horrible. So it's a little bit hard for me to think that, hey, he's probably waiting to get shipped out of there. That 6.9 ERA might change a little bit with the change of scenery. My favorite choice so far, my number 1 option, Merrill Kelly from the Diamondbacks. Yes, he's 36 years old, but he's 7-4 on the season, 3.49 ERA, and he has postseason experience. And that's what the Cubbies are trying to do. We're trying to make a postseason run. Merrill Kelly, he has that experience. So in order for me, if I would say who I would want the most, my number 1, I would say Merrill Kelly. So pitching ideas for the Cubbies, number 1 choice for me. I'll say Merrill Kelly from the Diamondbacks. 36 years old, so he has that experience. Helped the Diamondbacks get to the World Series back in 2023. He has a 3.49 ERA this year, 7 wins, 4 losses. Behind him, I'd probably go with Mitch Keller from the Pirates. 29 years old, only a 3.64 ERA, although he only has 3 wins and 10 losses. But he does get pretty deep into the game, averaging almost 6 innings pitched every time he's out there. And then lastly for me, even though he's the most popular name out there, Sandy Alcantara. He's only 29, but he's having his worst season so far. He has a 6.9 ERA, 4-8 on the season in terms of wins and losses, and he's always played down in Miami, where the team's horrible, they're never winning, doesn't have a lot of postseason experience. So if it was up to me, I'd go Kelly number 1, then I'd say Mitch Keller, then I'm going with Sandy Alcantara. So let me know what you guys think. Out of those 3, who would you take? Who am I missing? Who can we add in there? Those are the 3 guys that I've been hearing the most of. And I honestly think Merrill Kelly, if we're able to get him from the Diamondbacks, will be the best fit in the rotation. Bring him in, postseason experience, pitching well this season, familiar with the NL, and I say I go with him. And as far as batting, Eugenio Suarez, man. Cubbies, they're talking about all types of players. Let's see. I heard, take a look here. They're talking about Ke'Bryan Hayes of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I keep saying the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ke'Bryan Hayes on the Pirates. But obviously, we have Matt Shaw. If we could go with anybody, I would definitely have to go with Eugenio Suarez, man. Eugenio Suarez raking this season, going to be a free agent after the end of the year. So I really, really would definitely take a look at him. And shout out to at Hot Stove. I cannot read to save my life today. All right, let me get back. Hot Stove Cubbies, optimistic Cubs fan. He's got this sick, crazy, detailed rumor dump on what he's been hearing. So we're going to go through it real quick. I'll read it for you guys. Don't go get your glasses. Sit down. Let me read it for you. Cubs are looking to add 1 to 2 starting pitchers before the deadline. Goals to get a starting pitch in the near future, rather than wait for a frontline starter to be available at the deadline. Too many teams in playoff contention trying to get a pitcher. So that's why we're seeing names like Mitch Keller, which I just threw out there. Zach Eflin, who got injured, Adrian Hauser, Seth Lugo. Cubs do have interest in Soroka and Anderson from the Angels, but they're not selling yet. Alcantara is available, but I've heard they're likely to wait until closer to the deadline, and the price is huge right now, so simmer down. All right, Cubs will land a high leverage relief pitcher, maybe more. The amount of right-handed pitch or relief pitching at the deadline are always robust, but high leverage relievers are hard to come by. They'll likely wait closer to the deadline. Too many teams in the playoff hunt. Cubs will land a bat, and that bat will be at third base. So, yes, we have Cubs believe in Matt Shaw, blah, 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 blah. So this is another thing. Carter and Jed are in the last year of their contract, so they got something approved. Justin Tucker has been pretty ass, and he's only pretty much all we got for this year. And they're going in, blah, 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 blah. So these are some of the names I heard about. Eugenio Suarez, Ryan McMahon, Ke'Bryan Hayes. So the Cubs want Suarez more than any other player. Make it happen, guys. Just make it happen. He fits the mold of low prospect cost because he's purely a rental. So that's what we're talking about. Matt Shaw, he's our guy for the future. Dude has a nasty glove. He definitely can hit. Just kind of got to get his bearings straight here in the MLB. But Eugenio Suarez, a 1-year rental for the rest of this season, free agent after this year, kind of perfectly aligns right into what we're looking for. And Hayes, he's owed more money than the Cubs are comfortable with, which I agree, and he's not really an offensive upgrade. And some of the things that can be said for McMahon, but he does not help their woes against Southpaws. Here's an interesting one right here. One player to keep your eyes on the Cubs had interest in the offseason, Yoan Moncada. He's due for a rehab stint, but before the injury, he had 841 OPS, and at less than $5 million a year, he will be a hot name. And this one's crazy. This has kind of shocked me, guys. Another name to watch, and the Cubs were finalists during the offseason, Alex Bregman. So he does have an opt-out after this season. Red Sox are 3 games back in the wild card, 8 games back in the division. They already got rid of Devers. I mean, who knows, man? They're 3-7 in their last 10 games when this tweet came out, which a couple days ago. So they could fall even lower than they already are in the standings. So we'll see what happens. And then in terms of Cubs preference, while the Cubs front office will do whatever it takes to go in all this year, I'm hearing there's a lot of motivation for the Cubs to deal with the Diamondbacks. So Cubs would love to get a combination of Gallen or Kelly paired with Eugenio Suarez. Not to mention guys like Shelby Miller, Jalen Beeks, Juan Murillo, Kyle Backus would look good in the bullpen. So regardless of what the trades come from, it's one thing you could say for certain. The Cubs are going to be active, guys. So shout out to Hot Stove Cubbies, man. This dude has a sick page. They got a little podcast. Love following them on Twitter. Staying up to date with everything they do. I love to say it because I said, Merrill Kelly, am I bringing him over? If you could bring in Merrill Kelly, if there's something we could work out with the Diamondbacks, we could bring in Merrill Kelly and Eugenio Suarez. That, to me, has to be the priority right now for the Chicago Cubs. We need another starter. We need some batting help at third with Matt Shaw, and whether you could send Matt Shaw to the bench, which also helps the bench productivity and gives us a little bit more flexibility. So for me right now, if I'm the Cubbies, I'm Jed Hoyer. I'm spending the next 29 days or so talking to the Diamondbacks, trying to figure out what can we give you to bring back Merrill Kelly and Eugenio Suarez, because that fills 2 holes for the Cubbies. Starting pitcher and a third baseman that could bring in some of the offensive numbers. Eugenio Suarez right now, 26 home runs, 69 RBIs, 254 batting average, and an OPS of 888. So that was last year, I think. I'm like, wait, 26 home runs already? This guy's a stud. Let me check. I got to find that out. Eugenio Suarez. There's no chance that's his. It is. It is. He's raking. Goddamn. Yeah, Eugenio. Look at, if we bring him in, bro, our offense will be loaded. Can you imagine Eugenio Suarez on the Cubbies? 26 home runs, 69 RBIs. Nice. That's the type of stud we need at third base, guys. We'll have a full-on offensive whip. But let me know what you guys think, man. For me, that's ideal. You go out, you bring in Eugenio Suarez, you bring in Merrill Kelly, that double package. That's what we need. So before we finish up, guys, let's shift over to the last topic, and the last topic only. Right now, the Cubbies currently have 2 guys in the NL MVP race right now, according to a new MVP poll by MLB.com. Cubbies only trailing Shohei Ohtani, got PCA in second, and Kyle Tucker third. Let's get down to this list. So Shohei Ohtani, whatever. Dude could pitch and he could hit. This guy, oh my God, he's so amazing. Whatever. Shohei Ohtani. Dude has 39 first place votes, so he's far and ahead away. He's got a 2.25 ERA. But let's talk about what really matters. Pete Crow Armstrong, the only other player outside of Shohei Ohtani to get any votes in this poll. He got 3 first place votes. He's got 21 home runs, 25 steals, Gold Glover, no doubt, out in center field. Maybe I'm thinking the Platinum Glove this year, the best defender in all of the MLB. But you got, besides him, you also got Kyle Tucker right here. So Kyle Tucker, absolute Terry, only 28 years old. He's got a 1,140 OPS and 4 home runs over his last 12 games, jumping him into third, which does make me wonder, like, who decides this? Because he got a first place vote, but he's fourth. He got none, and he's third. But only player, basically, I guess I was wrong because it also got him one. Other players, votes. So how these guys get votes, we didn't get votes. Maybe he got second place votes. But right now I got Cubbies, got PCA up there, man. And I had to go look at Grok. I was like, give me a little case of why. So if you guys think, if you guys like ChatGPT or not, that's for you to decide. But this is the type of stuff you get right here. So to give you a really quick breakdown, I just said, give me a case for why Ohtani and PCA could be NL MVPs. So Shohei Ohtani, due to his unparalleled impact as a two-way player and historic offensive performance. So in 2024, he won the NL MVP unanimously. Weak as a blah, 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 blah. All right, so in 2025 so far, Ohtani's tied with the MLB lead with 23 home runs. He's got a .661 slugging percentage, on pace to score 162 runs, a feat not seen since 1936. He's hitting .292 with a .386 on base percentage, 11 stolen bases. And he returned to pitching this year. He's got 3 appearances, including a scoreless inning with 2 strikeouts. And let's see, blah, 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 blah. So Ohtani's narrative is a global superstar playing for the Dodgers, potential to chase Barry Bonds' MVP record 7, and his ability to deliver in high-pressure situations. Let's talk about PCA. So PCA, center field, breakout star kind of this year. He's only 23 years old. He has a 3.6 F WAR in 59 games, tying Ohtani for the NL lead earlier this season. PCA has 21 home runs, 62 RBIs, 25 stolen bases, making him the only NL player with at least 15 home runs, 15 stolen bases. He's hitting .873 on base per slugging percentage, elite defensive center fielder, 9 defensive runs saved, 9 outs above average. And he's, like I said, potential for that platinum gold winner, baby. Better get that platinum glove winner. Obviously, beyond stats, he's the heartbeat of the lineup, blah, 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 blah. So let's see. He does have a slump right now. So let's take a look at what's Grok's comparison here. I think I said ChatGPT. We're using Grok right now on Twitter. So Ohtani's built a case on historic offensive production, two-way potential, and a proven track record. 3 unanimous MVPs, just crazy. Moved to the Dodgers, blah, blah, blah. PCA, however, offers a more traditional MVP profile. Young, dynamic, excelling offensively and defensively while leading the Cubs' competitive team. MVP race often values narrative and team success, so PCA's case could strengthen if the Cubs outperform the Dodgers or if Ohtani's pitching returns falters. Conversely, Ohtani's edge lies in his unmatched versatility and star power, which voters historically favor. Both players face competition from others like Freddie Freeman, Corbin Carroll, but Ohtani's two-way potential and PCA's breakout campaign make them the strong standout candidates. If PCA sustains his production and the Cubs make a postseason push, he could challenge Ohtani, though Ohtani's pitching return makes him the front runner. So number 1 and number 2 right now in NL MVP race. I can't speak at all today, guys. Forgive me. But it's going to be somebody coming out, man. I think, obviously, if Ohtani's pitching this well, it's going to be hard for PCA or Kyle Tucker, for anybody to overpass him. The good thing right now, obviously going for PCA, he's one of the best defenders, if not the best defender in all of MLB. Dude is absolutely raking, and we have the narrative. The hard part is Ohtani, although he's only DHing, he's also pitching again. 3 appearances so far. Dude has international, intergalactic types of popularity where everybody everywhere knows him. So I think most importantly, when you're looking at the MVP race, when you're looking who's going to win in the NL, who's going to win in the AL, is we're witnessing some of the best baseball we've seen, I would say, like in decades. I haven't had this much excitement. I can't remember the league being this exciting in 10, 20 years. And really bringing me back to like the 2000s when you did have the Barry Bonds of the world, and the late 90s when you had Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa. It feels like finally, I don't know whether it's just the players, whether it's the marketing, whatever it is in the MLB, the stars are finally starting to shine and get that elevation that I'm always asking for. We're always looking for. You got Ohtani, you got PCA, you got Aaron Judge, and that's the whole country. You got Ohtani in the West Coast, PCA in the Midwest, Aaron Judge on the East Coast, man. This feels like we're kind of entering, or if not already in, one of MLB's like big golden eras of baseball where you're seeing a little bit of everything from everybody. All these different types of players, man. You see Aaron Judge, dude, is a unit, like 6'6", 350 pounds, jacked. Then you see PCA, just looks like a regular dude, 5'10", 5'11", runs, guns, hits, everything, man. This is a great time to be an MLB fan. Great time to be a Chicago Cubs fan, guys. We're only 2 games up in the Central, but I still got a feeling we're going to run away with the NL Central. Milwaukee, 2 hours away, 2 games behind us. I don't give a shit. Brewers, sit your ass back down up there in Wisconsin where you guys belong, because Cubbies taking the NL Central this year, y'all. But thanks for coming through, guys. Hit that like button. Drop a comment. Subscribe. Whatever you got to do. Bada boom, bada bing. We trying to get the ant farm growing. We get the ant farm here. We get the ant farm there. But thanks for coming through, guys. Love you guys. Love the Cubs. Thanks for everybody. If you're still here, you got to be the realest person I know. Shoot me a text. Leave a comment. Let me know. Yo, I made it down to like the 27-minute mark of this video. But remember, guys, if you're on the entertainment channel, you always got to remember, go crazy, don't be lazy, and don't be doing nothing fugazi, y'all. Deuces.